I'd like to call to order the meeting of the West Bend Community Memorial Library Board for Tuesday, February 15th. It's not at 12 a.m. though. Your agenda shows that.
At 12 a.m., right?
I was going to note that, yeah. I have it highlighted.
I think it reverts back. If you don't put it in, it
I think
reverts
that's-
back to midnight.
My mistake.
We're all early or late, depending on when you want to go. All right, I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okey dokey. I'd like to call for a consent agenda to approve the expenditures of January 2022 and also the minutes of the library board from January 18th. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve both of those.
Okay,
I'll second.
we have a motion and a second. Any questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financial reports. Joseph?
Yes. Let me, hold that. Here we go. Nope. We had a donation
Didn't show up.
of which I,
Oh, yeah, $1,375. Who was that from?
I do not recall offhand. I'm digging into it to figure out exactly. I misplaced the paperwork at one point.
Okay,
And then
we
had
will
to
note that next time.
Yeah.
Can we start noting the donations on the website? Remember we
Yeah.
talked about that?
I think I started doing that. Maybe-
Okay.
Maybe it's there.
Okay, maybe it's there, okay.
Oh, boy.
Just think if this was actually midnight. Did anybody have any questions for Joseph on the
Here we are.
balance sheet?
So, on the website is on our generous donors page under About Us.
Mhm.
And those are the ones that I have in there. I may have missed some of the most recent donors. I was wondering if maybe it was mostly the John Klein family.
I think that was
John
one
Klein?
part of it, yeah.
Oh, yes, he was the teacher who passed away, the
Yeah,
English.
I know at least part
so-
of it was, I felt like there might have been one other small check, but
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna dig in and try to find.
It was, and he had specified two different uses at the library.
Mhm.
One was books,
Yes.
and one was,
Maybe
oh, yeah, some technical equipment,
yeah.
possibly for like the story room or something like that. Okay. That was very nice, yeah.
We are investigating that.
Okay, I should have remembered that too.
Send me an email too, so that I can,
John
Yeah.
Klein.
That's your report.
you sent me all those emails last time, like right before the meeting, so I was like, flash news, you know?
Well, some of that was trying to get you ahead of.
I know.
He could have texted you during the meeting, and then you'd really
And I would have been, yeah,
in trouble,
covering it next time.
yes.
Klein and Dornish.
Just as an FYI for the board outreach, we are always in arrears for the first few months because the county pays us like every
A little later.
little later, like semi,
We're gonna, the new county agreement will be 2 distributions, from what the agreement says. But at the meeting, they may, indicated that they may do 1 distribution, so that would be.
one is
later this
okay.
month.
But one is okay as opposed to 2 because the 2, they always have to have their open meeting and do the approval and everything like that. And we're not sure exactly when they come, so that's fine.
If it is 2, it's gonna be, both early in the year, so both within the first half of the year,
Okay, okay.
close to it, so.
Okay. Anything else in regards to the financial reports? No? Okay. Public comment? All right.
I have one,
Everyone
I
turns
guess.
the chat.
I guess I have one. I guess I just
Okay.
wanted to mention the Friends Group. The application for it, if you'd like to join and become a member, is on the website. I'd encourage you to join. There's a book sale coming up, but we're looking for for books now to add to the sale, which will be in April. And if you have a chance to take a look in the basement, you can get a preview of what the book sale looks like and how well organized it is and cleaned out it is. Fantastic group of people, just they're really energetic people, active, doing a great job. So I would encourage you to join. The application's on the website. And if you don't join, I'll ask you again next month.
And if
They
you
did
have a
a,
friend, you can have a friend join,
Yes, have a friend
Right.
join too, right.
or a spouse.
or a spouse.
They did a good job last time with the book sale. I haven't been down there to look and see how it is now, but I can imagine they're probably stocking things back up again.
It's new, improved, you bet.
It is. Wonderful, great. And they're doing a good job. I have a question. Is there any way, Steve, we could just maybe quarterly get a little report on, how well they are doing? Or do they not want us to know how much?
Well, we're still, it's still in the forming stages, and it's,
But like the book sale, how much did they make at the last book sale? I was
they made
curious.
$2,000 at the last book sale,
Wow, that is fabulous.
so very good.
They are
A
doing
good
very
chunk of that was
well.
all really old artwork.
Yes.
Well, I cleaned out the basement.
The artworks went so well that I've contemplated going to some of the thrift stores and see if I can find paintings and artwork at low prices and bring it in to sell at the book sale.
Okay, well, good.
So,
Okay, that was our public comment. Library director's report.
I gave you the handout for the Terica and Emily handout, but in addition to those great things that they're doing, I know Emily didn't brag about it on her report, but we did start the open holds this month, and we've had really good response. There was a couple that needed to learn how to work it and have difficulty finding their things, but whenever they've been somebody's come to talk about it, it's been very positive. So people appreciate that we're doing it as a service to the community.
I've tried it
So,
twice.
yeah.
First time I self-checked out, and then I went and talked to the librarians, because I thought it was nice to just talk to them.
And they like to talk to you, so.
They said that, they like to talk to people.
So
But yeah,
that's-
we got okay.
That's really good. She also put on the website, and I'm not gonna share the screen online, but she updated the business resources. And under library services is business resources. So she's done a
A
nice
lot of
job
new library cards. What are we doing? We're going hauling people off the street and saying, open a card?
That's exactly what we're doing. So
That's good.
we updated all these great tools for businesses. We're gonna do another page for job seekers. I don't think it's up here yet.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, it is. I think it moved faster than I'm aware of sometimes, so.
Oh, that is nice.
So yeah, she's doing a lot of good things there. She's also participating in an online panel this next week about business resources at the library, and then I think I'm taking the next 2 months. But she might do them all, because if she loves it, that's great. 'Cause I've got other things
Cool.
to do.
Okay.
Our camera system, I updated our DVR, I bought a cheap one off of Amazon, it works great. And our cameras, the ones that I could work with, there's some that do not work with the new system yet, but it was a $300 fix instead of the $5,000 or whatever we paid for the last DVR, I think. So we may have to replace a couple cameras yet, but they're relatively cheap.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
Anything for Steve? No.
And that's it.
Okay. Library Board President's Report. The only thing I have to report is we have 2 board members that I'd like to thank this month. It's Joanne and Cindy, who have decided not to reapply. So Steve and I,
Bummer.
next week, Monday,
She's good.
and the mayor will be interviewing 4 candidates
Yes.
that we have. So we will have some new board members. But we'll haul Joanne back once in a while, and Cindy, we'll haul you back if we need a secretary.
There you go.
Joanne's been on it like 2 months less than me.
Yes, so a very long time,
Yes, it has been a long time, but that's okay.
and I've enjoyed it very much.
We've enjoyed having you. And we've enjoyed having you, Cindy. We hope you've learned a lot.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been a great experience.
And you're always welcome back. You know where, how to apply.
Public comments.
Right. Or show up.
Okay.
You never know.
All right. Well, any questions for me on anything? Agenda item number 7, annual report, 7A. This is our normal February document.
Yep, and we have to approve it, there may be changes yet, there probably will be some changes to the funds after the fact, but the state wants this before the end of February.
Just, I think there's the one part in here where they list our names, so be sure
Yeah, that's the most important
that yours are
thing.
correct.
that
No,
your
just that they're
company
correct, okay, that your names and
Contact.
contact information is correct.
Um,
Um,
And I printed it the wrong way, of course, because I
That's
don't
okay.
know long edge, short edge.
So what is there for you to tell us? Is there anything we should be fully aware of?
Other than it's kind of what I expected for this year, things seem to be moving in the right direction. The one note that I put on there in the last page is the question about leadership of the system. I didn't note that we did not see leadership from the library system because they were looking for a director for most of the year last year. So it's not a knock on them, it's just that they didn't have a director, so we did it ourselves mostly. Beyond that, I don't think it's changed a whole heck of a lot.
Okay. If you take this home and you go through it and find something, just call Steve and ask, the question or something like that.
If it's significant, we'll reapprove the document after,
These are pretty standard,
it's pretty,
pulling the data.
looks a lot like
Brad
last
does
year's.
his thing on one thing and pulls stuff together and stuff.
We use the best data we can for last week I ran the report for financials again, so that's the best guess we have at this point. Things could change between now and the audit. And by that time, this report is already due to the DPI, so we will know our actual carry forward funds after the audit.
Right, yeah. And one thing, if you don't have the report in by March 1st, they call, that's why.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually call and say,
I don't know, it might take them a couple months to call because they're short-staffed there too, just like everybody else. So,
okay, I would like to call for a motion to approve the annual report.
I make a motion to approve the report.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. You could say Joseph or Joanne, pick your J. Cindy's doing the minutes.
Oh, right.
Any questions or any discussion? If not, I'd take, all in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I will come and sign when you have, if you have any,
when
that
I-
doesn't say draft.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, next item, 7B. I do not know if everybody is aware of this. Brett, you are aware of this. But
No.
the city had originally set out last year to give raises, and the Common Council had voted that they go to an independent agency. So they have gone to an independent agency, and the independent agency has come back with news that the city has been underfunded for a while. Some of it substantially. I mean, there's been some, just disparities, we'll say that. The Common Council has already approved this, but because we are in charge of the library, we need to also just approve the fact that the library staff will be getting an increase. And this is the money, the city had set the money aside and had given the money to the library and the other departments. I thought they only set aside 400 and some thousand, and I thought, yeah, and I thought the dollar amount was like 500, so it's a little bit, okay.
There's a
So-
little bit of difference between what we have reserved and what the study is, but it's not a whole lot for the library. I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
about other departments.
Okay, all right, so, does anyone have any questions on that?
The information's on the city website, I didn't put it in the packet. I should've
It was a pretty big, I
Yeah.
It's a lot
have
of
it.
information.
It's something.
Yeah. I think everyone on the library staff will be getting an increase.
Yes, that's true.
This will now put us in parity with most of the other city organizations in the surrounding area and stuff, correct? Brett, do you have anything to add on that?
I would say that it doesn't put us in parity, it puts us more in what they call the market value.
Oh,
The fact
okay.
that our employees for the longest time have been underpaid based on those comparables. So this was a study done by the administrative department at first, and then the council, I guess, declined that study and decided to request an outside firm, which is what happened, and that's what we have now.
And this is the first step in that plan that they returned.
Correct.
There may be other things that are done in the future to deal with, so.
Yeah, we're still not in line with a lot of communities, but again, this was a step towards getting to that point. You know, again, it addresses stuff like staff turnover and recruiting and retention, and all those questions were the things that were out there.
Yeah.
So it helps us in that line as far as being more comparable to neighboring communities, so we don't see the
Well,
loss.
and we would bring in people and train them, and then they'd leave
Right.
and then have training, so they could say we're experienced and go someplace
Yeah.
else.
Right.
So-
Well, when you got communities close by that pay more money, you know, and have better benefits, then,
Correct.
you know,
And almost all of them
again,
were.
Right.
Yeah,
That's why, you're right.
Right.
Just about everybody, so
Right.
it didn't matter. You know, so kudos to the staff that stuck it out, the dedicated people that stayed when things were lean,
and I think this was unanimous, wasn't it, from the Common Council
Of those
voted
there.
unanimous,
Yeah.
which was,
Right.
what?
Of everybody that was there.
Oh.
Right.
Was-
So they're all there?
Right,
I
there
think
was
there was one
seven,
missing.
seven.
Right.
Work up on
Yeah.
this.
Alderwoman Kennedy wasn't there, but, yeah. And there were comments, you know, it's spending a lot of money. You know, so there were comments both ways and some concerns and things like that, but in the end, it passed 707.
Okay.
So the library board
So-
has the autonomy to give what it wants to the staff as compensation, but it's best to always follow the city, because we don't want to have interdepartmental
Sure,
problems.
that makes sense.
And that's why we want to have you approve that.
When you said underfunded, does that mean that we didn't have the money, or we like stashed the money and didn't give it out?
When I said underfunded, I said the city had put aside around 450,000 anticipating that. Now it's 500 plus.
Right, the
Oh.
first study, the one done by city staff,
Was
okay,
four.
it came in at the 450 something.
Okay,
Okay, and at the time when we declined to, I guess, approve that, then we decided though to set the money aside for the outcome of the outside study,
got it.
so that, you know, there was money there if, based on the outside study, we decided to either approve the original study or go with what the outside consultant
Got it.
recommended.
Okay.
In the end, we went with what the outside consultant recommended, and their number, which again was a little higher than what we had set aside.
Got it.
But we were assured by staff that that wasn't a problem, so.
Okay. So, and this is effective January 1st.
Yeah.
Got it,
Okay.
nice.
That's
May I have a motion to approve the city compensation plan?
I'll make a motion to approve going in accordance with the city's recommendation.
Second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. 7C, a lot of money stuff today. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
The Kiwanis Early Risers donated $50,000 for the renovation downstairs for the Parks and Rec Center. And they paid $20,000 and they were gonna pay $5,000 per year after that for, to finish off their donation. So we just have to transfer that $5,000 that they donated to us to the parks.
Oh,
So we'll need to write a check out of our account, because that's where we put it.
They deposited it. The Kiwanis sent it to the library, so we have to,
And we didn't know exactly what was going on then. And,
yep.
And as far as the MOU goes, it's, I'm not gonna reopen it at this point, because it is what it is, and
is it gonna be re-signed?
if,
Or,
only if they,
oh, if there's,
if they
okay,
want to do something more, then we'll talk about that another time. But
okay.
right now, I know there was a lot of discussion. I printed off a stack of papers from, you can go back and look at that on the city website, to look at all the library, recreation center documentation, and all the things that we thought were gonna happen. And I'm resolved that the space down there is now essentially the Parks Department's space, and they're going to use that space pretty much for their needs, and hopefully we will be able to sneak in there occasionally during the day. So,
Oh,
but all the expectations that were set at the beginning of this project are not quite what happened. So,
No, they're not.
so there'll be things to talk about in the future if they do desire to do something more.
hmm.
There won't be any discussion on it anymore. What is done is done. I know the Parks is looking to expand, but at this point, based on how things are going, no, that is library space. And we're utilizing that now for the Friends and things like that, so,
Yeah.
so,
The remaining space that is not finished down there houses essentially the book sale.
we've talked about it ourselves to maybe
Storage.
to do something. Is everything that was Parks moved out of that area?
Not at this time.
That would be something we can put on the agenda, but I'd like to recommend. Right now, the Parks has keys to get into that area because they have lockers in there, and we need to move those lockers out of there because of incidents that have occurred.
So that's on the to-do list.
Do they have space to move that and stuff?
Yep.
The sidewall.
Okay.
We didn't have it in the contract or anything like that about us utilizing that space?
They get first choice or first,
Not really. There's a lot of, how can I say this?
Gray area.
Stuff, yeah, there are things that were said and we thought were agreed upon. At one point, we were gonna retain the calendar, and there's a lot of things that are not being upheld. So
we're gonna try to work with them to get a little bit closer to that, but in the MOU, it says they get first dibs on the space.
The
and they
MOU
get-
was not signed, and was that, the MOU said they had first dibs, but it should have been, they schedule up to so many months ahead.
And
And then we.
that was the agreement because they would know what,
Right, because their
Programs.
programming was.
when they needed the
pre-
time because it had to be
Right.
to the printer. And
Yes.
so after it was printed, it was ours.
So technically, what's in the Parks and Rec book saying they'll be utilizing it is the only time they should have had first dibs on it.
Right.
So we'll be talking about that in the future. Right now, I know Parks and Rec is going through some personnel changes as well, so I'll just be gentle for a little while. 'Cause, we do know that the recreation supervisor is leaving this month, I believe, and then their project manager left last week.
And we may call on you, Joanne, because you had some input into the MOU.
So it
Yeah, that
sounds
would be
like-
fine.
Sounds like the
Definitely
first
be
priority would be to get those lockers out of there so there's no more instances and it secures the
Right.
area that we do have.
Yeah,
Right.
that will be on the top of the to-do list.
Well, we've kind of deviated from transferring the funds, but
Yeah.
it's still been a pretty short meeting. Any other questions regarding the donation from the Kiwanis or anything? I
Do we
really
have
want
to
to
have a
thank
motion to transfer those funds or we
Oh,
just discuss
yes,
it?
we
or
do. You
Okay.
see, you're keeping me on board. We need a motion to transfer the funds from the library accounts.
Well, I
to
guess
the
I'll make
Parks and
that.
Rec. Okay,
right?
I'll second it.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And that was 5,000.
And this is gonna be a reoccurring one.
Well, hopefully the next check goes directly to Parks
Okay.
and Rec, but we do know that if we get another
If we
$5,000
get another,
checks
it
from,
will hit
from
board.
the
From
other
Kiwanis,
advisors.
it's gotta go there,
Yeah,
because they'll,
and I'll talk to them, I think, well, I'm at the Kiwanis meeting occasionally, so. as a
So
member,
remind them where to send it.
Yes.
Or you can send it to us and we'll just read
We'll just
it.
read it.
It's no big deal. We have a motion and a second to move the money. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carries. Our next regular meeting will be March 15th. Isn't that the Ides of March?
That is, yes.
It is, the Ides of
Beware.
March. Don't have that meeting at midnight.
We won't.
Assigned tasks. I don't think there was any.
No?
Wow.
Just me getting,
Oh, did you get your, from your last time, did you get your little hard drive?
Just gave it to me.
Speaking
after the
of,
meeting.
okay.
Yay!
All right. And what were you saying?
I was just gonna say getting Brett the information for the donation.
Oh, for the.
And to join the Friends.
And to join the Friends. Okay, all righty.
Or find a friend to join.
Or find okay. All righty, if not, it is 12, here I'm at midnight, 5:28, and we are adjourned.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.